Merhaba arkadaşlar. We have talked about two adverbials so far. The unja and yip, right? We already know that their meanings are quite different from each other. The second one, yip, is for consecutive actions, right? For instance, dün markette alışveriş yapıp yemek pişirdim. Yesterday I did shopping at the supermarket and cooked. So in this sentence, there's a consecutive of actions, sequence of actions. First, I did the shopping in supermarket and then cooked. I mean, it doesn't happen other way around, right? So that's why yup is really useful for this kind of sentence, right? So as for inja, it gives the meaning of when, right? For instance, dersten çıkınca seni ararım. When I come out of class, I'll call you. So, this is like, it is quite different in meaning that, I don't think you are confused between these two. And they act in a different, they function in the same way. They don't take tense information or personal suffixes, right? They're attached to the verb stem. And that information appears in the main clause, right? Okay, so you're pretty comfortable with these two, which means you're ready for the next, right? So today I'll introduce you another adverbial, can, and with the ye buffer, and it is a little different than the other two. First of all, can, although it is, it can be attached to verbs, in the same way, it doesn't change according to vowel harmony. So it's always can. It's nice, isn't it? But it can also be attached to nouns and adjectives. For instance, o hastayken evde kaldı. While he's sick, he stayed at home. You see, hastayken. It's a noun, and it's it takes adverbial. Another example, siz öğretmenken nerede ders verdiniz? While you were a teacher, where did you teach? Right? So, as opposed to other two, can adverbial doesn't need to take olmak for the predicate sentences. Okay? So these are two rules about can, but there's one more. For verbal sentences, you'll need the aorist marker. So I'm sure you remember how you make an aorist tense. There are 3 different ways, but I'm not going to go over them right now because I want this video to be very short. But you can go back and review for yourself if you don't remember. So this means the verb stem should have the aorist marker. And if you want, actually, you may choose to remember this adverbial with the aorist mark. So you can remember this as ırken or erken when it's attached to verbs. So that will be easier, maybe. So in that case, then let me give you an example. Sen müzik dinlerken ben evi temizlerim. I'll clean up the house while you listen to music. So sen müzik dinlerken. So dinlemek becomes dinlerken. Çalışırken çok kahve içiyorum. I drink a lot of coffee while studying. Or when I'm studying. So you see, other than these 3 rules and the aorist tense, in my translation, I use both when and while. So when I'm translating the Turkish sentence into English, I use both. Why? Because in English, when can have both meanings. All right? Unlike Turkish, because in Turkish, there's a clear difference between unja and can. So unja is about a point in time, whereas can notes a duration of time. So let's compare these two sentences to make it more clear. Ben oraya giderken yağmur yağmaya başladı. While I was going there, it started raining. As opposed to ben oraya gidince yağmur yağdı. When I went there, it rained. So you see, the first sentence is talking about the duration of your going. So you were going there, meanwhile it's raining. As opposed to the second one, you go there and it rains. So you're talking about the point when you go there, not before, not after, and it rains. So you see the difference, I hope, more clearly right now. All right, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to compare these three. But before I finish this video, I want to remind you, when we were talking about önce, we discussed the question büyüyünce ne olmak isterdin? And we imagined ourselves as kids. We asked each other, büyüyünce ne olmak istersin? It was fun. But this time we're gonna say çocukken ne olmak isterdin? With the can adverbial, right? And it's going to be more accurate. So we're talking about this time çocukken ne olmak isterdin? What did you want to be when you were a child? Yeah? Okay, so this is all for today. Again, practice well, read this section in your books to really understand the details before coming to class, so we can spend time for practice. Okay? İyi çalışmalar, derste görüşürüz.